Guys, Marsingin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're going to take a look at the new missions that have been added for the Spirit Bomb event against Kid BUU and Omega Shenron, and get those done here in this video. So the new stages, we want to do the Kid BUU ones first. So stage 1, beat the stage with 3 Terrifying Conquerors characters on the team. And then the other one is to beat the stage within 4 turns. So we're going to start off with the easiest and probably most obvious build for doing this, which is basically just to use the anniversary LRs, right, with the Spirit Bomb. Because we have the friend Goku that leads Battle of Fate. We can have God Goku as our leader, who gives obviously the buff to Pure Saiyans. That means we're at least getting one of our Terrifying Conquerors units, which is the Great Ape Vegeta, is getting the leader skill. Golden Frieza and Piccolo Jr. obviously are not, but they're both very strong defensive units. And then we have Kid Goku as one of our other units on the team, because he can obviously give us the damage reduction, which will then, of course, help us to get the maybe the weaker units, like the extreme units that are not getting the leader skill, more likely to help them survive, right? So I'm going to bring the Dabura Cookie nuking item as well. It doesn't actually really matter now that I think about it. The item that you bring isn't really important, because remember, with the BUU Bros and getting their standby, the Spirit Bomb, they don't actually attack, you fire off the standby, right? So them picking up the orbs isn't important, but I think if you are going to use their standby, bringing a orb changing item obviously is going to help you, because it will help you supercharge the Spirit Bomb. So I didn't realize I had the intro animations on here. Hopefully we don't have multiple people, okay, good, on the first rotation that have one. So let's go ahead and turn that off here. So we're able to use the Spirit Bomb straight away, which is what we want to do, right? Let's turn these off. Okay, so let us just go ahead and activate the standby, and then yeah, the name of the game is just going to be collect as many orbs as possible, get the Spirit Bomb off, and then we should, as long as the Spirit Bomb does enough damage, we should just get both of the missions completed, right? Because we'll beat it in 4 turns. Now, because these guys, you can be in their standby for 2 full rotations, but that means the bare minimum, like if you had them here on turn 1, they wouldn't be firing off the Spirit Bomb until turn 5, and then obviously you wouldn't be able to complete the 4 turns mission. Now, do bear in mind, of course, you don't have to beat both of the missions at the same time. There is absolutely no requirement whatsoever for you to do that. So we're going to do it in this run, but if you wanted to do them as 2 separate runs, bring a team with Terrifying Conquerors, and then, you know, it might take a bit longer. Maybe you build the team a little bit better, focused around the actual Terrifying Conquerors units themselves, and then do a separate run where you beat it in 4 turns. Because I made a video when this stage first came out, obviously showing off a bunch of different units that could be used to beat it, and one of them was the AGL LR Gohan. And obviously that strategy is still going to be perfectly viable. I'm pretty sure in that first video we beat it in 4 turns or less with all of those different team builds anyway. So definitely go back and check that out if you want to see the other units that you can use. When it comes to units like AGL Gohan, he's on transformation boost, so there's a couple of extreme units that are on Terrifying Conquerors. Like for example, the STR EZA Cooler, you could use him as a leader because he has transformation boost as part of his lead, run 2 other Terrifying Conquerors, and then run Gohan. You'd have to put Android 16 on there so you can get the transformation, and then a Super Saiyan Goku that's on transformation boost, right? So Gohan can get his maximum buffs, and then you could do it that way. But again, like I said, you don't have to do both the missions in one go. You just have to do them, you know, over the course of the 2 different runs if you want to do them separately. So a couple of different ways you can approach it. Like I say, go and check out that video that I made back when this event first came out. It'll give you a bunch of different options for units that you can use in order to just beat the event in general. And pretty much all of those, like, we beat the event in 6 turns anyway, right? So let's go ahead and do this. We'll get our 6 orbs for you. And then there's quite a few orbs here as well. We haven't really needed to use the orb change here at all. Although, I mean, we could have used it to get a massive selection of orbs at any point during these couple of turns. So I think what we'll do is on the next turn, I'll just use both of them, pick up all the orbs with a unit that I put in slot 1, and then we'll fire off the Spirit Bomb. And that should be GG on turn 3. So, because the Spirit Bomb will do enough damage that even if Goku here gets these additional supers and actually kills Kid Buu. Obviously, it won't be the end of the event because we won't have done enough damage. But then we're just going to go straight into the next turn and be able to use the Spirit Bomb now. So, and this is him from full health. So obviously having the anniversary LRs is going to be a huge benefit here. So let's go ahead and, you know what, first of all, can we get rid of all of the orbs of one typing? No, because there's going to be an int one at the top corner if we do that. And obviously more are going to come down again. But, alright, so let's go ahead and, you know what, actually, just for some bit of extra damage. Oh, you don't get any extra links with Vegeta anyway. Let's do the active skill for Kid Goku. It's very unlikely that the Spirit Bomb is not going to kill at this point anyway. But now we can go ahead and orb change here. This is... Wow, really? That did absolutely nothing. Nice. Okay, well, I mean, I'll take it, I guess, if two of them made the whole field changed. But there you go. So that's an extra 24. That's another massive extra charge on the Spirit Bomb here. So now we fire off the Spirit Bomb. Turn 3. I mean, the only way this doesn't work, right, is if you load into the stage and the BUU duo are in slot 7. Because then they're on turn 3, you use the standby, and then you can't use the Spirit Bomb until they come back on turn 5. So if you are using them, if they're in slot 7, then obviously you just have to quit out and try again. But yeah, we should be all good, especially if we get the crit here as well. Let's see. Because remember, the mission for Kid Buu is only 20 million points, the original one. And there you go. Crit for 40 million. So that is GG, all she wrote for Kid Buu. I mean, you can see, right, the strategy, the Terrifying Conquerors units on the team didn't do anything. They were just there to, you know, because that's how you have to complete the mission, by having them on the team. So they were on the team, they just didn't do anything. So, of course, having the Anniversary LR is going to be the way to do this incredibly easily, but you are going to be able to do it with other units as well, and the AGL LR Gohan is the #1 unit that kind of springs to mind, right, in order to do that. So but yeah, let's move on to the next one here. Get our missions though, you know. There you go, both missions completed. Just over 5 minutes, and then there's both of the missions done. We get a couple of stones and some dozing Kais, and then the couple of stones and an Elder Kai as well. So hey, we take those extra stones and let's move on to the next run. Okay, so I thought I would add this one in here. This is the run with AGL LR Gohan using the STR Cooler as the leader. So we have 3 Terrifying Conquerors units on the team. I even bought some free-to-play units, just to show how this is obviously easy for more people if you don't have the Anniversary LRs. You know, we got 16 is free to play. We need him to transform Gohan. The LR Frieza technically is free to play. I used the Tech Golden Frieza instead of the LR one. But obviously you do need Cooler and LR Gohan to make this work. The AGL transforming Goku is, I think, the only Super Saiyan Goku that's on this category. And of course, if you don't get them together on the first rotation like this, then by the time you get them together, he'll have transformed into Super Saiyan 2. So this, I got very lucky with the starting rotation, but I think Gohan is actually able to kill him without actually having that anyway. He does get an extra link if we put him in the middle. Saiyan Warrior Race. What does he get from Saiyan Warrior Race? If it's extra attack, I will put him in the middle. But it is 10% attack. So yeah, we might as well do that then. So let's do this. In fact, yeah, you do have more defense and you have type advantage. So I'm just going to grab this. Although actually, I don't want to get too much HP and then not be able to transform. But no, we're not going to, are we? Just from that one. So we go ahead and transform Gohan into Super Saiyan 2. We have a Super Saiyan Goku on the rotation. I bought the Chi Lai nuking item, so we just go ahead and pop these. We are running the Super Class Cell Saga Ally Support Memory. So there you go, full rotation of the AGL Orbs. He's got a Super Saiyan Goku on the rotation in order to get his extra buffs. And so we should be able to just straight up get the one-shot here with Gohan. Gohan's still a very, very good unit for doing this stage. So if you don't have the Anniversary LRs, you know, there are a couple of different ways you can do these missions. And like I said, check back to the earlier video that I made. I use a couple of other units as well. But yeah, Gohan, oh, we're going to get the double super here from Goku as well. Okay, Goku wants a bit of the spotlight because Gohan's about to take over here. So what are we going to get from our boy? 60 million. It's pretty good. Do we get the crit as well? Crit for good measure. Come on, Gohan. Yeah, we do. 58 million. So yeah, there you go. Even more than the Spirit Bomb. So it's actually just easier. And we did it on turn 1. So it was even easier to do it with this Gohan than it was to do it with the Anniversary LR. And that was obviously both missions as well, right? 3 Terrifying Conquerors units and within 4 turns. So there you go. You don't need the Anniversary LRs to get it done. Let's move on to the Omega Shenron stage now. Alright, so we're moving on to the Omega stage now to do the new missions for this one. These are to beat it within 5 turns and to use 3 characters from the Powerful Comeback category. So we are going to start off by using the 8th Anniversary LRs. We have AGL Gogeta, the Tech Gogeta, and then of course the 8th Anniversary GT Duo. They are the 3 Powerful Comeback characters, and the whole team fits under the Fused Fighters or GT Heroes leader skill of the 7-year LR Super Saiyan 4s. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in here. Now remember, we don't have to do all of the missions in one go. That's the important thing. So where are the GT Duo? That is them on the 2nd turn. Okay, that's good. Because remember, for Omega, the reason why this stage is more difficult is because you have to get through this first part where you have to do a certain number of super attacks to him in order for him to, you know, remove all of this negative energy gauge. So I think what we want to do here is we're going to start off by doing this, because B-Pan will actually take damage here from Omega, and then we'll heal like a little bit, but it won't be a crazy amount. And if she ends up getting super attacked by him, then, you know, we're still going to end up with enough low enough HP to be able to get the standby with the GT Duo. Now, the thing is, the GT Duo standby, one of the problems that I was having when I first attempted this stage, I think I showed a clip of it in that initial video where I beat the missions with a bunch of the different teams, is one of the problems that we were having was we were unable to get the GT Duo or someone on the rotation to die so that they could drop the Spirit Bomb. And the problem was that the GT Vegeta was doing enough damage to kill Omega and end the event, but not enough damage to beat the missions. Now, obviously, for these missions that they've added, that's not an issue, right? We just need to beat the stage within 5 turns and with 3 powerful comeback characters on the team. So we actually don't have to get any sort of high score or anything at all, right? We actually just have to beat the stage. This is what I was saying about in the previous one as well for the Kid BUU. There's going to be probably the easiest way to approach this event is going to be the fact that you can just do all of these missions like separately, right? Like in multiple attempts, and then it's going to be way easier. So we're going to do this. I don't want to get go too crazy on the turns here, but we can get the additionals with you guys. Because remember, we need to get rid of the negative energy gauge, but you also have to remember that the turn you get to the final phase of the event, right, when he switches to physical, you have to kill him on that turn, because he does a super attack at the end of the turn that does a large amount of damage. So we should be perfectly fine here to not quite be able to do enough supers in order to empty out the gauge, because obviously we want the GT Duo to be on the turn where we're actually going to then go for the W, right? So we have to make sure we get rid of all of the negative energy gauge on the next turn, and then we go into the rotation with these guys. Because when you get into that Omega stage, you can't even really do damage to him unless you do a certain minimum amount. I can't remember if it's 10 mil or it might be 15, but once you get to that stage, you can't actually even do damage to him. So I was hoping that we would get the maybe get the B-Pan on the turn with the GT Duo, but you know, it's going to work out well enough here, I suppose. So we will do this and then grab these, and then yeah, we should get enough supers on this turn for it to be the depletion of the negative energy gauge, because you don't have to do a certain amount of damage, you just have to, it goes down a little bit with like each super attack. So the more super attacks you do, you know, the quicker you wear it down. So we're kind of lucky to get the additional, actually, because we didn't get enough ki with the both of the LR Super Saiyan 4s for them to get their guaranteed additionals. So I was a little bit concerned for a moment there, but we should be perfectly fine here now. We'll heal a little bit back up here with B-Pan, but it shouldn't be too much because she's not really going to do very much damage. And then, yeah, we should be able to go straight into the standby with the GT Duo. And then, yeah, we're going to be good to go. So, yeah, basically we got the timing right here. We're going to get into the next turn on the right rotation. And then it should be GG. Now, the thing as well, actually, we might have too much HP. I didn't think B-Pan was going to heal anywhere near as much as she did. And did the GT Duo get hit enough times to get their thing active in the previous turn? Or did they or not? They did not. Okay, so this is where we now have to experiment a little bit. So I did bring these items because we were going to hopefully just get the KO with the GT Vegeta anyway. But let's actually see here whether these guys can do it just by themselves. Because they've got support. They've got a pretty decent amount of links active here as well. So yeah, I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. Because again, remember, we don't need to actually get any sort of specific amount of damage as like a high score. We just have to win. And we just have to win within 5 turns. And we just have to win with 3 powerful comeback allies. So it actually doesn't matter how much damage we do as long as we beat the stage, right? That is the important thing. So how much are they going to do here? They got a 20 million attack stat. And we obviously got full ki, so they're going to be getting guaranteed additionals. How much do they do? Oh, they just do 20 mil and kill him without a crit. So he is actually very easy to kill. It's just getting the 30 million points against Omega that is difficult. So there you go. Even though we actually misplayed, didn't get the standby, we still just won with them, right? Because Omega is not that difficult to kill. It was just difficult to get the 30 million points with the original missions. And so, yeah, I think the best way to do this 100% is do the missions separately. You can do them all in one go if you want to, or if you want to do it as like a bit of extra challenge. But like the easiest way to do this is just to do the missions separately and then just build the best team you can. Use the same team you used last time to beat it, but just make sure you have the powerful comeback characters. You probably beat it within 5 turns the first time anyway. And there you go. You just get a nice few extra stones, a couple of extra little rewards. Obviously, this wasn't the best event ever or anything, but going back to those previous videos again, I showed a bunch of different ways you are able to beat them without having to have the newest units. So it's not the worst event. A little bit annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. So let me know how you guys got on down below. What teams did you use to beat the category missions? Hopefully you got them all done now. And, yeah, I will see you guys at the Heroes stream, which should be in basically an hour after this video goes live. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.